Good evening. A St. Paul police officer has resigned after causing a major controversy concerning social media posts on Black Lives Matter protests.
And tonight we're getting reaction to the sudden move. The news first came in a short tweet from St. Paul Police. They announced the resignation of Sergeant Jeffrey Rothacker effective immediately.
Within a half hour after that, St. Paul Mayor Coleman's office issued a statement calling the announcement, quote, the quickest and most certain way to reach a final outcome.
John Croman is live in St. Paul with our top story tonight. John?
No, the last public thing we heard from Sergeant Rothacker on this was the apology that he issued a few weeks ago. He was silent on this today. The St. Paul Police Federation, the union, also silent tonight. The people who are planning a protest here at the St. Paul Cathedral during crashed ice, they say they do plan to go ahead with that, but they called this resignation a step in the right direction.
I mean, words matter because you have a lot of people who share those same ideas and beliefs as Officer Rothacker.
Rashad Turner heads the St. Paul chapter of Black Lives Matter, which was on the Marshall Avenue Lake Street Bridge January 18th for Martin Luther King Day protests. They were unaware that day that Facebook post by a J.M. Roth gave instructions on how to get away with running over protesters. And those posts were actually done by a St. Paul police officer.
When you think about the lives that he put at risk by making that post, it's really unacceptable.
Sergeant Jeffrey Rothacker, seen here with protesters outside the Republican National Convention in 2008, has since apologized for his Facebook post and resigned tonight while still in the midst of an internal department investigation.
We think it's a great, first step, but also it's something that should have been done a long time ago. Black Ice will continue to go on as planned. There's a lot of demands on there. We are looking forward to continuing to work with the mayor to come up with something of substance that the community can feel comfortable with.
This was a process that was in play. It had nothing to do with any protest or threat of protest.
Mayor Chris Coleman called Sergeant Rothacker's resignation the right resolution.
The chief, who I think has been an exceptional leader of making sure that when officers have acted improperly, they are held accountable.
Now, those two St. Paul residents, Mayor Chris Coleman and Rashad Turner, a graduate student, will have to come to terms with what shape the protest is going to take here at St. Paul Cathedral during crashed ice. Turner told us tonight that he doesn't want his group doesn't want to be caged in, as he called it, the way they were at the Twin Cities Marathon back in October. So we'll see what happens. But again, no word tonight from Sergeant Rothacker on why he resigned or what he's going to do next. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, John. Community activist Andrew Henderson made national news when he found Rothacker's comment online last month. At the time, Henderson told us he traced the comments back to Rothacker through social media and court records. We caught up with him tonight after Rothacker resigned.
This has shown officers that citizens will not tolerate them, putting hate speech on the internet. Just the other day, a police officer stopped me and said, Andrew, you did the right thing. So I mean, there are plenty of cops out there doing the right thing, and I think we should always remember that.
Andrew emphasized to us that he did not think Rothacker's actions in any way were an example of how other officers behave.